Quezon City in the Philippines continues to battle COVID, with TIMA assisting in setting up a free vaccination center. Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers moved the Tzu Chi Story House display outdoors for more people to see and enjoy. I'm Sean Scannell. This is DAI Headlines. Let's get started. The number of confirmed COVID cases in Quezon City is the highest in the Philippines, with 1.1 million infections. A large gymnasium was turned into a free vaccination center, with TIMA members visiting the venue a day before the vaccination began to do a thorough inspection. Here's more.
Under the pandemic, the Smart Araneta Coliseum, which is one of Asia's largest indoor arena, was transformed into a vaccination venue. To support the government on pandemic prevention, 35 TIMA members in the Philippines went to the vaccination venue one day before the free vaccination started to do the final check.
They are planning to inject 1,500, but we thank them for the opportunity that we can help more people. In a little way, we can, as a TIMA doctors, and we do this because we need to help everybody.
Checking on everything, TIMA doctors even simulated the actual vaccination procedure to make sure the setup was fine.
Quezon City
has the highest incidences of COVID-19 in the country. TIMA is here to contribute because we follow Master Denyen's teachings. She taught us to do our best to benefit the society in the difficult times.
Tulong sa society.
The event and venue coordinator also led his own team to set up the venue.
Lahat nung kaya ko ibigay sa form of logistical concerns, I gave it. So
I've tried my best to offer logistical support, including booths and tarpaulins. We even sponsor for the food. Everyone who is able to help should stand out to contribute.
Their share to make sure that everyone will be vaccinated.
Everyone was united and worked orderly in order to...
Pandemic muna, i-askasuhin namin.
The first overseas Tzu Chi hospital located in Jakarta, Indonesia has been completed. More than 90% of its hardware construction. It's almost complete the installation of medical equipment. Recently, the Minister of Health of Indonesia led a team to visit. Take a look.
Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia is about to open in the middle of this year. Recently, Minister of Health Budi led the relevant personnel of the ministry to visit the newly complete hospital.
As the Minister of Health of Indonesia, I'm very happy to see charity organizations willing to build the hospital. Due to the shortage of public hospitals and doctors in Indonesia, private hospitals can join the medical system to provide better medical services to more people in need the most. And after visiting the hospital today, I think the hardware equipment of this hospital is very good.
After visiting various floors of the hospital, the minister affirmed the dedication of Tzu Chi Hospital in the purchase of medical equipment and hope to serve more critically ill patients in the future.
Tzu Chi Hospital is not a hospital for profit. The advanced medical equipment we purchase is also for the patient's consideration. I'm very happy that the minister is very satisfied with it today, and he also hopes that the hospital can make more contributions in the future.
I very much agree with Tzu Chi's concept of human-centered medical care. I hope that Tzu Chi Hospital will become the leading hospital in the country in the future.
In the future, Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia will also arrange Tzu Chi volunteers to serve as medical volunteers in accordance with operating methods of Tzu Chi hospitals in Taiwan.
The establishment of Tzu Chi Hospital has given us the opportunity to serve patients. In the future, I hope that our volunteers can be a bridge between patients, family members, and medical staff in the hospital.
The first overseas Tzu Chi hospital is about to open, and all volunteers in Jakarta are also ready. It's hope Tzu Chi medical humanities will be deeply rooted in the Muslim country.
Ashang is from China and came to marry in Taiwan, where she has 2 children, one with Down syndrome. Her husband is ill and requires dialysis as she sells vegetarian zongzi and dumplings to support the family and even donate back to Tzu Chi.
This machine is very useful. In the past, I knead it by hand and it would take me the whole day to make 200 steamed buns. But not anymore. I can make 500 to 600 up to 1,000 a day easy. For a healthier version, it's this, my 10-grain zongzi with Chinese lotus seeds. So that's like 11 grain. Don't underestimate it, it is delicious. I sell more zongzi now than steamed buns. I use black sesame oil, pure black sesame oil, and ginger to saute beforehand. Why? Because the elderly love to eat this and they won't feel bloated after eating my food.
The 5-gram zongzi can be frozen, so even when it rains, she can continue working and freeze it. This way, she still has something to do.
The biggest change is the feeling of security. Before, when I just made steamed buns, I felt anxious all the time because I didn't have a lot to sell. And when it rained, I couldn't set up at my spot. If it rained for 2 weeks and I only went out to the park once to sell, it's not enough to cover my living expenses. I won't even have money to buy lunch. I can't rely on just selling at the study groups either. I don't make much from each sale, so I need to sell more. I mostly sell at the park. Sometimes I sell at the Da'ai Mothers classes or Tzu Chi study groups. Honestly, those aren't places where you can sell, but they are so kind to let me. Then as long as you are making some money, that's enough. I'd use the money I'd have to spend on renting a stall to give back to the customers. The customers are happy to get a good deal while supporting you. I'm at the park for not that long. I go when the kids are still sleeping. When they are awake, I've sold everything and I'm back.
你今天比较早还是比较晚？比较晚，几盒？4盒哈。那我做完再拿。好，做完再拿。好，谢谢了。这边比较好，我们买习惯了。140哈。
对，你也是老客人。
老客人，我做多久要买多久。反正会吃我的馒头，就是吃过一次他都会一直买的。有哇，你来得早，特地留给你的。要几个？今天豆包那么少。卖掉了。啊？这个都人家订的，我们特意留几个不卖。豆包跟粽子。这边比较少来的，因为都是人家订。还有买莲花包买不到的，都会生气。因为他手也没力。
I'm here today to collect the monthly donation from her. She started donating about a year after she began selling. In the beginning, she was embarrassed to speak up about her sales, and I would do it for her. Dumplings here. Do you want to buy dumplings? I know almost everyone here.
每一个都认识，没有一个不认识啊。他现在跟你一样熟。他现在他比我还更熟了。哦，我有的是先生来买。 太太不知道，接着后面又要来买，他就知道说哪个是哪个的先生，哪个他们是一对的，就不能重复，不能够重复买。其实打一打，这里整个都会。
She said, "I make about 1,000 NT dollars a day. It's enough for us. You can use that money for others." I was so moved when I heard that.
真的是很感动。
I've always felt blessed, never otherwise.
Before, it seemed like she was a bitter gourd, but now she's a honeydew melon.
Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers moved the exhibition of the Tzu Chi Story House outdoors to a grass field, integrating Buddhism into art. This allowed volunteers and members of the public to have a better understanding of Tzu Chi's Dharma lineage and humanistic spirit. Take a look.
It takes 45 minutes to engrave a character, and he has to withstand the power of vibration. Zhang Boren has carved the essence of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings and the Tzu Chi Dharma lineage on bamboo tubes. He also has his own understandings.
You can experience the translucent and clear state of mind, how to calm down yourself and your heart. When we do engraving, we have to be mindful and attentive to details. If you don't have a clear mind, you'll never get it done.
Starting from March this year, Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers moved the Tzu Chi Story House display outdoors. Every design has its own ingenuity. Like this water wheel, it symbolizes the Dharma wheel keeps rotating to generate kind thoughts. Volunteers even cut the recycled PET bottles into 6,000 Bodhi leaves and made 20 Bodhi trees in 50 days, integrating Buddhism into the exhibits.
This Bodhi leaf doesn't look right, so we trim it again to make it look right, just like correcting our own bad habits.
Correct some our bad things to make our inner side become prettier. If we gather 5 or 10 ringgits from everyone, the world will become more beautiful.
The big bamboo corn bank makes all Tzu Chi family's members travel back in time to 55 years ago, when 30 housewives saved 50 cents a day. Members of the public get to know more about the true meaning of small money for greater good.
I think it's very important to share such kind thoughts because many people do not have the opportunity to understand yet. They don't have the blessings to learn and cultivate.
Buddhism is presented through art. Every design shows the humanistic spirit of Tzu Chi and also inspires the kindness in people's hearts.
On the second Sunday in May, Tzu Chi Grounds in Haiti held a Buddha Day ceremony where over 100 people attended. Among the representatives from Taiwan and Haiti were also in attendance. In the Grand Sutra chanting, they had a prostrating pilgrimage and enjoyed the day's celebratory events.
Jeudi, c'est 9 mai. À Taïwan, il dit 3 dans un seul.
Today is May 9th, and it's also Taiwan's 3-in-1 celebration. On this day, we celebrate Buddha's Day, Mother's Day, and Tzu Chi Day.
C'est aussi la fête des mères, et c'est aussi les 55 ans d'existence de la Fondation Tzu Chi.
Nous satisfaits de joie, parce que volontaires y répondent.
We are grateful for Tzu Chi volunteers for bringing us love and care over the years. Master Zhen Yan has always supported the poor in Haiti.
Joindre nous-mêmes les Haïtiens pour nous capables de jouir aussi de la Fondation Tzu Chi.
On pourrait constater que sans distinction de race, tout le monde nous joint.
Without differentiating countries or nationalities, today we joined the 3-in-1 activity.
De religion vous appartenez, et tout le monde y participe, c'est une belle fête.
Et Taïwan by Haïti, yon accompagnement.
Today, the embassy joined us. We can give thanks to Taiwan as they have continued to help us since the earthquake. Taiwan's love for us is indescribable. Thank you, Taiwan. Thank you, the people of Taiwan.
Merci, peuple Taïwan.
To celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary, United States Tzu Chi volunteers have worked together to present the performance of the Buddha's story. 455 onstage volunteers came from all walks of life, using music, drama, and sign language and songs for the performance.
From small props, a paddle, a basket, clothes, a pole, a structure. For headscarves, we want to observe how they tied the headscarves. So I said that our activity team really pays attention to details.
To celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary, Tzu Chi USA is putting on a performance depicting the life of the Buddha, presenting drama and sign language. As the volunteers work together, they can face other challenges and problems. The 4-week rehearsals have been recorded by the end of April. However, a 1-minute performance on stage takes a lot of practice off stage. An onstage volunteer for Northern California chapter sits while rehearsing 2 segments of the performance. Although she feels a bit weak, she's filled with joy.
Since I'm undergoing chemotherapy, I get tired easily. My physical strength is not that good. I hesitated as I was afraid of troubling everyone. In the beginning, I felt tired. However, after practicing, my spirit improved. After we received the song A Buddha at Vulture Peak, they wanted to present it walking meditation and study groups. For the first image, we enter the volunteers' inner thoughts, and then we present their cultivation at the Vulture Peak. Lastly, we end with volunteer study group at the Buddha home. We present their inner thoughts as they cultivate their minds. When you feel confused, you can practice sign language songs and gradually your mind will calm down. After practices, upon returning to the Tzu Chi office and seeing other Tzu Chi volunteers, I feel like I was returning home and I wanted to cry.
As the onstage volunteers tell the story of the Buddha with their body language, they have also reflected upon their own lives.
From life, aging, illness, and death, I've realized what it means to seize all moments, as time does not turn back.
就像上人讲的，人生是没有这个所有权，但是我们有使用权。
Like what the Master has said, there's no ownership in life, but we have the rights to use it. How do we use the time well during life, aging, sickness, and death, so that we can broaden the depth of our lives? I think this is a topic we should consider.
很值得我们去深思的一个课题啦。
On May 15th, United States onstage volunteers will present the story of the Buddha, spreading Buddhist teachings to more people.
The blue suits and chipaos worn by Tzu Chi volunteers represent Tzu Chi's spirit. The Master called it a garment of forbearance, as everyone in Tzu Chi is equal as long as they are willing to do good. Take a look.
You must smile, speak good words, and do good deeds. Expand your mind, be humble, and make good affinities with others.
善缘. The floral button is being hand-stitched to a qipao.
These craft skills have been passed down for decades. There are special details making it look more elegant.
The elegant bindings are strictly adhering to 0.5 centimeters width. Yet the true meaning of the blue qipao is even more than this craftsmanship.
谁呀？早，你好。这是几个？便当盒，往便当盒。
These little stools are like my legs. Without them, I cannot walk. Being able to volunteer makes me happy. I won't feel tired because I am still able to give and volunteer.
I always wonder, since she cannot walk, how can she make her home so tidy and clean?
She has suffered from polio since 1 year old, with a pair of atrophic legs. Her life is restricted.
When people looked at me, I would cry. I would lower my head and dared not look up.
But if you don't move forward, how can you know what will happen in your life?
As long as I can reach the heights, I will do it myself.
She seizes every moment to give of herself. Even her shortcomings does not stop her.
She will always make her home spotless. She does all things perfectly.
Like if I need to wear my hair in a bun, I will use something to support my left hand. Otherwise, I can't raise my hand up.
Even though the qibao is only half length, it is still elegant. 67-year-old Zhao Azhen is the perfect example of what this qibao stands for.
When I put on this qibao, it's like taking up responsibilities. It's so solemn. I am very happy. I didn't expect I could wear this qibao.
Recalling the origin of this qibao 60 years ago, the master had not yet become monastic and was staying in Luye, Taidong. A neighbor, Zhao Shen Jingru, saw the master was wearing thin clothes, so she sewed this qibao, hoping to give it to the master, but she missed the chance then. 30 years later, this qibao is now displayed in one of the Tzu Chi offices.
Back then, the master had not founded Tzu Chi Foundation yet, but there was a senior bodhisattva who had already made a qibao for our Tzu Chi commissioner.
The beauty of Tzu Chi is that the beauty is uneven. In fact, everyone has his own backgrounds and appearances, but these are not important in Tzu Chi.
Liu Bangzhou's life used to be ridiculous. Since he was 8 years old, he learned to drag racing, fight and make trouble. After he grew up, he took and sold drugs.
I used to deal with matters with fights and often lost my temper. I always took my anger out towards my son, who feared me the most.
He became the most classic scum in everyone's eyes, wandering into the boundless sea of bitterness. Fortunately, at that moment, someone was willing to light up a lamp for him.
I have been seeing this man wandering in the hospital for a long time. He was so thin, dark, with sunken cheeks and dull eyes. He was in a very dazed state.
She would talk to me. I was hopeful again because someone was willing to talk to me and believe in me.
I told him that good and evil were in a tug of war. The dark side was calling for him, but so were we.
Doing recycling allows me to calm my mind. My mind can be calmed. I also learned to purify my mind. There is no reason not to believe him, not to trust him, not to love him. At the beginning, his children rejected him, dared not see him and avoided him. Now they will hug him. I think this is a big improvement.
The blue suit that Liu Bangzhou is putting on also meant that nothing is impossible to do. The present Liu Bangzhou is just like the dawning sun and illuminates the new journey ahead.
The epidemic has been heating up for several days, and major hospitals have upgraded their epidemic prevention measures. Outdoor screening stations at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital have been established to avoid cross-infection and maintain the safety of people seeking medical care. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.